I don't think most people actually want to grow. They just want to look like they're growing. They post the quotes, they journal once, they cut off that one toxic friend and call it a revolution. When it comes down to actually letting go of the people, the habits, the version of themselves that's making them feel safe, they panic, they get stuck. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're not evolving. Maybe you're stuck with the identity of feeling like a victim. This season of my life has shown me that growth is brutal. It doesn't feel empowering. It feels humiliating. It doesn't feel like alignment. It feels like abandonment. And here's the truth. If it doesn't cost you anything, it's not really transformation. I've lost friends. I've lost who I thought I was. I've lost comfort. But I've never been more sure in my life that I'm actually moving forward. So if you're in a season of your life that feels heavy or isolating or unfair, you might be where you're actually supposed to be. Let's talk about it. What this season of my life has been teaching me is that life is full of obstacles. Seasons of my life has been teaching me is that life is so ever changing. You can't possibly accommodate for every single possible thing that can happen in your day-to-day life. A problem that I struggled with for a very long time is that write out all these schedules to get towards a certain goal. And then I would feel terrible. I would feel disgusted when I wouldn't be able to get those things done because something happened that got in the way. Someone needed help, something took a bit too long, something unpredictable happened, and it ruined the flow of that schedule. After one thing disrupted the flow, I didn't feel motivated. I stopped what that schedule was for that day and said, you know what, let me try again tomorrow. But we as humans need to realize that perfection is not the reality. The reality is that things will always come in to ruin your day. Obstacles will always be there. People will always say something. You're going to stub your toe every once in a while. This season of my life, I've been going through the emotional anguish of feeling unwanted. Unwanted in the sense of business professionally. I recently got licensed as a bartender because that's been a lifestyle I've wanted for a very long time. So I decided to make it a reality. I got certified, and after that, I'm applying to all these places, but I'm not getting anything back. And for a while, I felt put down by that. I felt unwanted until I started to realize what will happen will happen. If you don't lose something, you aren't growing. I lost the mindset or the clarity of what is meant to be will become. Things will happen in time, and I have this problem with trying to make things happen on my own time. The reality is that if I keep myself strong, centered, and grounded, I will get what I deserve. The bartending thing, after that first 3 weeks of trying and feeling mentally worn down, I decided to kick myself back into first gear and come at it headstrong. If it didn't work out, it wasn't meant to happen. I was probably saved from working with terrible people or getting in bed with the wrong people. When things don't happen, they don't happen for a reason, and you should be grateful that it, and when things do happen, you should be grateful that they did as well. Whatever happens, just roll with it. The best outcome will come in the end for you, as long as you are a grounded, headstrong, good-hearted person. Now, I'm not saying don't do anything just because you're a good-hearted person and let everybody do you wrong, because you have to stand up for yourself. What I'm saying is that when you're chasing the things that you desire the most, be grateful for whatever you get, because it's probably a stepping stone to get where you want to be. This season of my life, I've gone through the mental anguish of that. I've gone through the mental anguish of my own personal relations and navigating through while still trying to get to the success that I have envisioned for myself, the life I want to wake up to one day. I read it every morning and every night. No one talks about how difficult that is. They think just stay focused and keep doing what you have to do every single day to drive toward that passion, which they're right, but they don't take into account the mental anguish from something going on in their present life, something that can be slowing them down or endangering their mentality or their physical. No one talks about the anguish from that. And if you think you can avoid the anguish, you're completely wrong, because if you're avoiding the anguish, you're not growing. You need to lose something. You need to go through something in order to get to this great life. Losing people that you thought you would spend the rest of your life with sometimes is a necessary action, and you should be grateful for it. Whatever happens, be grateful for it. Something I've learned from reading Marcus Aurelius's journal is that even when the worst happened to him, he thanked that thing for happening, because whatever happened was going to strengthen him in the long run. He was going to learn a lesson. He was going to adapt, overcome. He was going to compromise. And because that happened to him, he got to learn that valuable lesson. And he was thankful that it happened. If anything bad comes your way, if anything bad happens to you or slows you down or is another obstacle, be thankful for it being there. Because just by it being there, you're getting put through what you need to get to where you want to be. I'm not sure if I'm the only person that struggles with this as well, but setting a schedule for myself has always been a challenge because of exactly what I had just talked about. I set schedules depending on if my day went perfectly fine. Instead, now I have a few grounding things I do every morning. These are my non-negotiables. I do them no matter what. After those are done, I do what I can depending on how the day is moving. If something happens, I adapt to it. You need to be adaptable. Like Bruce Lee said, be water. This season of my life has shown me that no matter who you are, who you end up becoming, you're going to end up outgrowing that person to become the better version of yourself. Ask yourself this: what if the person that you are trying so hard to become is actually the what you're supposed to outgrow? People confuse change with growth. And so when your old friends end up seeing you again and tell your other old friends that they changed, that's them being immature and not knowing how to say that you've grown in yourself. And those aren't your friends. Those are the ones that envy. They wish they can make that change in their life, but because they're keeping these forces in their life that are holding them back, and because they're coming at life with such a perfectionist outlook, this season of my life has taught me to always help, to always give anytime you can, not when you have the extra money for it. The more you give is the more you get. You can read it in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You can read it in the Bible. You could read it in so many religious beliefs. What you give is what you get. So I've been a lot more helpful towards those in need as of late. That has become a fundamental thing in my life. If I see someone that needs help, I will go out of my way to help that person. Whatever it is that you are doing, don't lose that happiness you have within yourself. Don't lose that trust you have within yourself. No matter what, stay true to yourself. If someone is having a problem with that, if they want to go, let them go. Because at the end of the day, focus on what you're doing correctly. Focus on the fact that you're staying true to your identity, to yourself, to your beliefs, and to your morals. And if someone doesn't like that and they threaten to leave, let them walk away. In this era of my life, I've learned that I'm a perfectionist. In this era of my life, I've learned that I'm not getting the things I want as fast as I want it. That's a problem. By thinking that way, I'm actually stumping myself from growing. I have a goal for myself within my business, within my bartending, the lifestyle I want to live. I have a timeline set out with this schedule that I've been trying to figure out how to set for myself. Sometimes I feel like it isn't getting me closer, even though I'm doing the things that I have to do to propel myself within that certain goal. Sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm doing a single thing. And because that ends up happening, I end up screwing my own head over in the long run. Sometimes I am moving towards the goal with what I'm doing, but I'm just not moving as fast as I want. And that is the underlying issue. I'm sure a lot of you are able to relate to this. You've set out the schedule for yourself. You've studied what you need to study. You learned what you needed to know. And now you're applying it to your life every single day. Some days feel better than others, but I know if you have that drive or that timeline that you want your succession to hit, some days you feel terrible. You feel disgusted with yourself because you don't feel like you did anything fast enough towards this goal today. And I can say that because I speak from experience. If things happen or do not happen, they happen because you deserve it, not because it was given to you. You need to go through anguish to get to that succession point that you want to hit. You can't expect to go through all of this and not feel that anguish. It's going to be there no matter what. That is a promise. You can't expect to get to the top without feeling that. The biggest lesson I've learned in this era of my life is that things will happen as they are supposed to. And I was disappointed in myself at first when I realized that, because that's how I looked at life. But then somewhere along the way, I got too focused and too obsessed with it reaching this success point, this lifestyle I want, in such a fast-paced way. And because I was staring at it in such a fast-paced perspective, I didn't deserve it, so I haven't been getting it. But now, by changing my outlook, by changing my mindset and how I look at this, moving forward, I'm going to pursue it. And eventually, maybe hopefully with that, and by staying grounded and centered, calm, at peace, and serene, I will deserve what it is that I am searching. So I know we all have these goals. I know we all have an idea of the person or the lifestyle that we want to live. But know for sure that life is an ever-changing canvas. And if you don't adapt to that canvas, you're going to mess up the painting. The end result is not going to be as pretty as you think it will. So ask yourself this: is the person you are trying to become actually the person you're supposed to become to get to the next phase of your life that is better than you could have possibly imagined? You lose parts of yourself along the way. I was disappointed in myself for a while because dealing with personal relations, and the anguish of bartending and things not going the way I planned it. I lost reading. And if you guys know me, that's my thing. Reading keeps me grounded. It keeps me centered. It brings a certain light to my personality, sometimes a dark to my personality as well. But I wouldn't be able to live life with the personality I want to have if I didn't have that. Let it be my romance, let it self-improvement or self-empowerment. But that was a piece I lost of myself that I am now getting back. And I'm so grateful for that. I should actually go ahead and read one. I hope you guys can ponder on the question I just asked. Is the person that you're so hell-bent on becoming actually the one that you are supposed to end up out